Thank you very much, and very efficient and very short and concise as always. The next we're going to have our chairperson's report from Eithne Larkin. Eithne, who's originally from Sligo, has been a tremendous tour de force in Westport Tidy Towns, with national tidy town wins under her belt. Eithne, I suppose, and I have been through so many competitions together over the years, not only Tidy Towns, but Pride of Place, Autumn Floral, Nations in Bloom, Smarter Travel, the list goes on. I feel like I know you like a sister. There's no challenge that Eithne cannot overcome and conquer. Eithne is the embodiment of positivity and that can-do Westport attitude, and has contributed so much to our town's success over the years. I give you Miss Eithne Larkin.
Just realised how much we miss Simon's charm. Okay, so you're all very welcome. Thank you very much for coming. I'd like to have seen more people here, but I guess that's the way things are. I'd like to mention first of all that Peter Flynn is also a former chairperson, so he didn't get mentioned there. So Peter, I'm sure it was just a slip of someone's mind. It wasn't intentional, I'm sure. So before I really start, I would like all of us to remember, especially this evening, one of our committee members who sadly passed away since our last AGM. So I'd like you to remember Margie Coughlin this morning. Margie was a great committee member, a great volunteer, and just a great community person. So maybe just a special little thought for her, and we obviously have her brother Warwick here. Okay, so the idea obviously tonight, I suppose, is to do the official business, but also to reflect on our success that we had last year. So we won our county medal. We had absolutely incredible success. We won the county medals. That means we came first in Mayo. We won the regional award, and our region is Mayo, Galway, Roscommon, Sligo, Leitrim, Donegal, Monaghan, and Longford, maybe, no?
Yeah, Cavan.
Okay, so it's a significant region. We won the gold medal, and we also won the award for Ireland's tidiest large town. When you see them all on the slide, it might look a lot, but I really, really need to stress how significant these wins are. To win, I suppose there's a way we have to go. You must win the county award, you must win the regional award, and you must then win the tidiest large town to progress to win the overall award. But when we went to Dublin, there was 600 and something people in the room. There was over 900 entries from the 26 counties in the competition. And for us to have this success consistently, it is unheard of in the national competition. And I will talk a little bit about complacency later, because I do think, and I do fear that we are getting to a stage of somewhat complacent in Westport. Those awards will be presented in the Castle Court in April by our new minister, Dara Cleary, and we look forward to that. And I suppose we're delighted to have the Minister for the Rural Affairs here in Mayo. And I also see we've just been joined, while Simon was speaking, by Ciara Keogh, our newest Mayo TD. So congratulations and welcome. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I can't see. So this is where we are in Westport, okay? So we have 24 gold medals in the competition. Gold medals were only introduced in the competition in the year 2000. So we have had a gold medal every year. And just so you know where we get a gold medal is for really high standards, but you must be within so many points of the overall winner. We have won the award for Ireland's tidiest large town 12 times since 2000. And we have won the overall award 3 times. There is no other town in the country, in the history of the competition, that has such success. It is unheard of. Most towns, what happens is they decide they want to win Tidy Towns and they go gung-ho and they put in a huge effort for a number of years. And any town that wins the competition deserves it, because it's not easy. And then they may stay consistent for the next year, and then over time, they kind of gradually, you see them, they're not increasing the points, they're staying stagnant. And there are towns that have lost their gold medals. Westport, since we won in 2001, have stayed, not alone have we stayed consistently high, we have gained marks every year. Last year we gained 11 marks, okay? So I really need the people of Westport to understand the significance of what Tidy Towns, and when I say Tidy Towns, I'm not talking about the committee. We couldn't operate without all of our volunteers and all the various bodies that help us. But it is really, really important. I do fear, in general, that we're becoming complacent about our success in Tidy Towns. And you know, Simon mentioned earlier on Phil Hogan, who presented Bridie with her pen in 2012. And at that time, probably nobody thought, or maybe nobody thought about the impact of losing our town council. And I'm sure Peter and Christy would have lots to say about that. But we all now realise the impact of losing our town council. And I fear that someday we might be regretting the loss of our Tidy Town success. It probably will happen, inevitably. You know, I'm looking at Elsie. I took over as vice chair in 2006 with Elsie, and she told me the idea why she was retiring. So we're now going into 2025 and Elsie is still here. We need new people to take over, we need new people to join our committee and take over those leadership roles. Because otherwise the day will come when Westport won't be heard of in the Tidy Towns competition, and I think that would be a shame. Okay, so this is what makes up the success of Tidy Towns. Okay, and I really need to mention tonight in particular the CE scheme, TOOS and the RSS. Because again, first and foremost, if Tidy Towns went, they would automatically go. Okay, because they can't be here without Tidy Towns. So if Tidy Towns and the CE scheme and the RSS and TOOS go, people have no idea what Westport will look like, and that is the reality. So we really, Geraldine is here, obviously supervisor of the TOOS scheme, the CE scheme, and Noel and Tony, I don't see them, but they do a great job and we work very closely with them. And they do absolutely fantastic work. We also have, obviously, Mayo County Council, the Men's Shed, Westport welcomes Ukraine, we have members, the voluntary organisations that come out every Tuesday night. And without those people who come out every Tuesday night in their huge numbers, we couldn't do the work that we do and we wouldn't have the success that we have. So we really appreciate those people. The schools, for Oiga, they all play their part. The Ventners, the Chamber of Commerce, obviously we work very closely with. Edinburgh Landscape, we're involved in a number of projects. The Scouts, the residential areas. And I'd like to mention in particular tonight One Westport. So One Westport is a new group. Many years ago, when I was town clerk, we, I suppose, had unofficial meetings of like-minded people, environmental groups. We thought it would be great if we could get one umbrella organisation so that we wouldn't be wasting resources and everybody doing the same thing. So we had a few kind of unofficial meetings, but nothing really came of it. And then maybe 2 years ago, we started up again and One Westport was formed. So One Westport is now CLG. We have the chair here, John Scahill. But we have great ambitions, but we need to find funding somewhere. So if there's anybody here who knows where we might find funding. The idea is that it's an umbrella organisation too, so we can all work together and get greater funding, have strength. We've had a few projects that I'll talk about in a few minutes, successful projects to date, but we really are depending on core funding. Okay, so funding, obviously, we all need funding, and you heard Liam run through the amount of money we spend. And again, I see Peter and Christy here, particular strong supporters of Tidy Towns. I kind of have personal thoughts that we should need to be asking for funding, but I'll leave those. But that's where we get a lot of our funding, from the GMA funding. We get some from sponsorship from our local businesses. We work with groups and try and do projects so we can get some funding, and then we have grants for other funding. But the thing about grants is, I'm sure there's lots of people in the room that are involved in applications for funding with grants. They take up so much time, they are so complicated, and you might spend hours and hours and hours and hours putting together a grant application to either be turned down or maybe get like €200 or €300. So Ciara might take this on board as to how community groups are funded and the waste of good voluntary time that goes into applying for funding. That's your first job, Ciara. So it's an ongoing problem. You know, some people might say we're luckier than most, and maybe we are. But any money the Tidy Towns get, you know, is well accounted for. It's not wasted. It's spent in the town. You know, anything we buy in the town, so it's going back into Westport. But it is just so difficult for funding. Okay, so these are the sponsors, the local businesses who have sponsored us. We have the Westport Hoteliers who sponsor us every year for the residential areas competition. Cavanagh SuperValue, they sponsor us in cash. They also sponsor us in lots of free hours from Liam Campion. Arrivo, Turio Tools, Oban Centra, the Helm, Peter Duffy, the Porterhouse, Muldoon and Company, the Mal Boutique, Foxford Woollen Mills, CTI Productions, Harvest Breeze, and Tracy's Pharmacy sponsored our first aid kit. So we're very grateful for all of those. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention Port West. Oh, thank you, Geraldine. Yes, Port West, and Port West are actually currently in the process of sponsoring new high-vis and some jackets for us. So this is an example of a really, really good project, and I'm sure you've all seen the houses. So ABVI have a week of possibilities every year, and Volunteer Ireland run it for them. So they approached us last year. They'd done some work in the schools and some places to see what we might do. So we came up with this project. Wouldn't it be great to paint the houses in Plugastell Court and their community room? We painted them a number of years ago. Margie Coughlin actually said to us one night we should paint the houses. It would only take us 2 nights. 2 Monday nights, so we set off to paint the houses in Plugastell for 2 nights. Well, it took us a lot more than 2 nights.
We got there.
We got there. So they were well due a paint, and this was a really great project. Southwest Mayor Development and the CE scheme did some of the work in advance. Mayor County Council did some of the work, and then the ABVI volunteers over the week painted them and cleaned them and did up all the flowers, and the residents were delighted. So that was a win-win for everybody. So we're hoping ABVI might, we're talking to them about a project for this year as well, so we're hoping they'll pick us this year too. The next project is a really important one as well. We submitted last year as our key project. The Eco Recovery Project to restore native species, led by Ollie White Jr. So we have 13 sites planted with native trees, or heritage orchards, 2,440 trees. And we have introduced some lost native species, such as the burn pine, spendle, girdle rose and yew. And again, we all know climate change is real, so we need to be taking action and preserving our heritage and planting trees. The next event was one of our first events. You may remember, anybody who was there last year, that we had Dave Whelan speak at our AGM about Westport becoming Ireland's first circular economy town. We're not there yet, but we did have a circular economy event, and this was one of the events that One Westport was involved in. We got a little bit of sponsorship, and on the 15th of June we had an event here in the Town Hall, which is a really fantastic event. Sadly, it wasn't packed out. We had some really good speakers, and I suppose the really good thing is that we had a few more events happen as a result of it, and that is what we're trying to achieve in One Westport, that one event will lead to kind of spurring on something else. Okay, sorry. My slide's gone a little bit. Okay, so the residential areas is a huge part of our competition. Huge part of Westport, obviously the maintenance of our residential areas, and we have great residential areas. So we have a competition every year, and this year our winners for the smaller areas was Lower Boffin Street and Glenlara Park for the large estate. So, big round of applause. And the adjudicators always mention the really good condition of our residential areas. So we have 2 volunteers this year taking over kind of the running of that element of our committee, Paddy Murray and Mary T. So if there's anybody here from a residential area, just reach out. We can't do everything, but we will try and help you in wherever we can. This is an initiative that when Dermot Langan comes back all nice and rested from Sydney, that we're hoping we will get underway, taking pride in your pavement. So Dermot is the president of the chamber, so we're going to work very closely with Dermot to get that up and running. All we're going to be asking is that people just take pride in the pavement outside their own door, and if every business could keep just that little bit outside their own door, and anybody who lives in town, it would make our work so much easier and Westport so much cleaner. We also have a new project coming up with Mayo County Council, greening the businesses in Westport, and that's been launched tomorrow week. There's a breakfast meeting in the Leeson Centre, and it's all about encouraging people to recycle and to segregate their waste properly. You might have seen this guy around town last week. Father Kenny met him anyway. That's sorry, it is Father Kenny's picture, correct. So this, unfortunately I can't tell you why he was here, because the project that he's involved in is under embargo until next Tuesday, but all shall be revealed next Tuesday. We have a very exciting project coming to town. Okay. So, what can you do? There's a few things you can do. The first thing is, I don't know how many people know, but we have water stations on the streets of Westport. So you can bring your bottle when you're around town and refill it for free anytime you're walking up and down, and that's thanks to Christy. And the Eco Congregation have been battling for a long time for it, so well done. What can you do? You can join our committee if you like. We'd love you to join our committee. We meet once a month, so it's not a huge commitment. We do send you off with a job. We try to send everybody off with a job every time. But you can get involved in projects that you like. You can volunteer your time. And it's important that, you know, when you think of volunteering, you're not thinking that you have to go out and pick litter. We have so many projects going on that don't involve litter. Yeah, you can join a rota. You can just be active in your own local residential area, which would be really helpful. Help fundraise. If anybody has any experience in submitting applications for funding, we have a commissioner of Paul at the moment who's busy doing that, but I'm sure he'd be more than happy to take some help. You can review your business premises. Yeah, if you have a business, maybe just step out, look up. Does it need painting above your shop front? Maybe your windows, your doors need painting. Review the signage and posters in windows would be really good too, so you can avoid the clutter. And I suppose live responsibly in Westport. So that's me finished giving out now for the moment. I will be back later, but that's me finished for the moment.